In this video, we're going to be talking about two things: making our routes private and also how to hash passwords. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So in the last video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, info card up there, check out the video. But in the last video, we created instance methods, which is per user. We're going to be creating a model method this time. And this model method is going to be responsible for finding a user by its token. So how do we create model methods? It's really simple. It's going to be the same thing as up here. So user schema dot, instead of methods, we're going to use statics. Statics like that, and then we're gonna just name it. So I'm gonna name mine find by token, just like that, and it's gonna equal a function. It's just a regular function because we still need to bind the this keyword, and instead of using the lowercase user, it's gonna be uppercase since this is going to be for the user model. So user equals this. That is it. So we're gonna be creating another variable called decoded. And I'm gonna leave that undefined for now. All right. So first of all, this function, it is going to take a token. All right. Unlike the other ones we made, this one actually does take in a token. We're gonna be using this token to actually find the user in the user's collection. Okay. So we're gonna do a try catch block. The reason why is because we're going to be using jwt.verify to actually try to decode the token passed in. Okay, so if this doesn't work, it is going to throw out an error. That's why we're going to be using the try catch block. So we're going to try to do something. If it doesn't work, we're going to catch. No, not the promise version of it. We're going to catch the error and do something with the error. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, indent that, no, indent it. Okay, like that. All right, so we're gonna try to do the jwt.verify. Now this one actually takes in two arguments. What token do you want to verify? So we want to verify the token we sent in, what token we want to verify, and actually the secret. Now over here we put the secret. Like I said, it is bad standards to actually have the secret out here invisible, but don't worry, later on we are going to put it inside its personal environment variable. But for right now, we're going to just leave it like this. So we're going to verify the token. If it does work, we're going to assign that to decoded. Oh, decoded. Oh, good God. There we go. We're going to assign that to decoded and just leave it like that for now. Now, if something does go wrong, I want this function. This function right now is not a promise. You can't do then chain on thens, right? We can't chain when we call this, right? But I want this function to be a promise. So just in case anything does go bad, we're going to actually return a promise.reject. So we're going to return promise. No, not a new promise. We're going to just, well, it is a new promise, but we're going to return promise.reject. Now, if you do know how to create a promise, you do know that promise does, let's do it the old-fashioned way, okay? The old-fashioned being return. If you know anything about promises, you're going to return a new promise like this, right? You're creating a promise right here, right now. And it's going to take in two arguments, resolve and reject. Okay? And there's going to be a function. And in this function, we're going to resolve whatever's been passed in, or we're going to reject it. We want to reject it, so we're going to call reject, just like this. And that is it. But like I said, like I wrote previously, there's a simpler way of doing this. It's just literally promise.reject. And this is going to return a promise. At least it's going to return a promise, a rejected promise, but it's going to return something. And we do want to reject it, by the way. So if everything does go well, we're going to want to return the user it found. We're going to find the user in the user collection, and we're going to return that user. So we're going to find the user like this, user dot find one, right? And we're going to actually do a query. We've never done a object query before, so we're going to do that right now. We're going to find one where we need to give it. I'm going to actually put it like this. We need to give it the, I guess, the criteria it's trying to search for. So we want to find a user where the ID underscore ID, like this, no, just ID, is going to equal to the decoded dot ID. Now remember, decoded returns an object. Remember, we store the object in here. When we sign it, the JWT sign, we store the ID and the access and also the token. Okay, we also, you see, tokens. We stored everything in that token. So when we decode it, it should have the ID, the access type, and the token itself. So from the decoded, we're gonna want to get the decoded, and it's gonna have the dot underscore ID, just like that. And we also, so we want to find the user that has the ID and that also has the token we are trying to find. So token. And by the way, when you remember, tokens is an array up here, and when you want to search tokens and grab the token, so it's going to be like this. Watch, tokens dot token. When you're trying to look for a nested object, you can't just leave it like this and then put the colon and then search for whatever. You literally have to put this around it in parentheses. Okay, so we're trying to find a user that's token inside of tokens is token, the token they passed in. Okay. Also, we're gonna find, we wanna find a user that has the access authenticate auth. So we want to find tokens again dot access. Remember, it's in here, tokens and access and token. So we're trying to find tokens with the access property, and we're trying to find the user that has auth. Okay, so this find one, we're finding one that meets these criteria right here. The ID founded by the decoded dot underscore ID, the token that's been passed in, and that has the auth as the token type. Okay, so once this happens, we're gonna return that. Remember, every time we return something, it returns a user. So we're gonna just leave it like that for now, because in front end in the server.js, we're gonna actually call that user. Okay, matter of fact, we're gonna do that right now. So let's go inside the server.js all the way down. We're gonna create a new route. So it's gonna be under this one right here, and this route is gonna be app.get, because we're gonna get a user from the users collection. Okay, and the URL for this one is gonna be /users/me, because I actually want to test it out if it's going to be me, the one that gets it back when we try to use this function right here. So right now we're just testing it out with this route. We're testing it out. I want to see if this actually does come back as me. That's why I have it -me. So rec res, just like that. Now we're gonna assign token. So var token is going to equal to, because they're going to be sending the token back to us. Remember that, guys? We're sending this token back and forth from front end to back end, client side to server side, you know, yada yada. And when we send back, when they send stuff to us, it's going to be stored in the rec object. Okay, so we're going to actually get it from the rec, and it's called header, right? And we've seen this before. We did it right here. Right here, instead of getting it, we actually assigned header xauth with the token, right? Well, we're going to be receiving a header that has the value or the property xauth. So xauth, just like that. We're going to get that token from here like this. Now we're going to be using this method now. I need to control save this, by the way. We're going to be using this method, so we're going to call it, so user dot authenticate find by token. I'm sorry, I was trying to, there it is right there, find by token. And we're going to pass it in the token that we just got, token. Okay. Now, remember, we are returning something. We're returning, if something does go good, we're returning a user. If something does go bad, we're returning a promise. Now remember, user.findOne returns a promise. So we're going to actually chain on the dot then. And this is why I wanted to return in this catch block, I wanted to return a promise dot reject. So that way we could just chain on the dot then. But since it is going to return a user, if it does return a user, we're going to do something with that user. And if something does go bad, we're going to dot catch. We're going to catch the error, and we're going to do something with that as well. In the then block, we're going to, if there's no user, if no user was found, we're literally going to return the same thing. We're going to return a res dot status of a 401, okay, dot send. And I ain't gonna come back to this a bit because we're actually not gonna use it. We're gonna use something else, but just for right now, I'm using that. If there's no user, we're gonna return the status of 401 and just send it out. But if there is a user, we're gonna return that user instead. So res send user, okay, just like this. Now in the catch, if there's something does go wrong, it's literally the same thing right here. Okay, so I'm just copy this, right, and just put it right there. You don't need this return, by the way. But the reason why I wanted it like this is because, okay, since we're doing it right here already, this is exactly the same thing right here to right here. So since we're doing it that way, I'm gonna just delete this and I'm gonna just do promise dot reject. So this is going to just reject the promise and just go all the way to the catch where it catches the error, which is this, and just return this. That's it. This is why I'm just doing it like this. You can't leave it the way we had it. I'm just doing it like this for simplicity's sake. All right. Now we're actually going to test it. Let me open up Mongo. And no, I still haven't pinned it. Oh, no. I did not create a shell. It's RoboMongo. There you go. I'm gonna just drop my database because I want to start fresh. And I'm gonna open up Postman. Open that up, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna actually start my server. So node, did I save it? No, I didn't save it. So save it before I do anything. So node server.js, starting it, hoping there's no errors. There's no errors. And let's hope that everything goes smooth, because you know me, man. I'm always doing some other stuff, and I always get it wrong. And by the way, we are sending a token, so we do need to create a new user. So I'm gonna just create a new user. It's going to be called Tmail. Tmail. Send that out, and I do this. I do get my user back, but in my headers, I should get my right here my token, it is the thing that I got. So I'm gonna grab all of that, and I'll make sure that I did grab all of it. Okay, I grabbed all of it. I'm gonna grab that because in this new tab, well, actually, I'm gonna just copy this first, put it over here. It's gonna be a grid, and we're gonna target the me users.me, and we're gonna have to send in a token. This is why I created a new user, because I needed a token. So we got that, sending it off, and we need to put it inside of headers. The key would be xauth, obviously, and the value is the token. Okay, so once I send this off, I should get this user back, or where is it at? I should get this user back, okay, which is g@tmail.com. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. And I do. Yes, so everything is working, dude. That's the first time it actually worked in one go. Wow. Woo. All right, making progress. All right, now that it's working, we're gonna be using, where is it at? Right here. This on mostly every route that we use, right? So we're gonna actually take this out and make it into a middleware. Now up above, we are gonna put the middleware in its own folder or directory in its own file. But right now I'm gonna just show you how to create a middleware. And if you don't know how to create a middleware, I did do a video, so I'm gonna have that in the info card as well. But we're gonna do that right now. So var, we're gonna create a variable, and we're gonna call it authentication. No, authenticate would be better. Yeah, dude. I think oh no, okay. I think that's right. I'm not too sure. Don't judge. So this function takes in 3 parameters or arguments: the res, and the next. That's it. And it is going to be an arrow function. So it's literally the same thing right here. So I'm gonna just copy all of this, what we created. We are gonna be modifying just a tad bit though, because so we do still want to get the token from the XAuth header. We still want to find a user and reject it if there's no user. We want to reject the promise. But right here, this is going to be a tad bit different. The reason why is because we're going to be just modifying this request. So when it comes back in here, we could just use that request as a user. It's better for me to show you. Watch. To use the middleware, we're going to copy it and just put it in the middle between these two. Okay. So this is going to happen first before actually coming in here. And when I said modify request, it's because since this is happening before going to here, we're gonna modify this request object right here in here. What do I mean by that? Well, we're actually going to set rec.user equal to the user we just found. Okay, if there is a user, we found a user, we're gonna just set that to rec.user. So that way we could use it down here, rec.user. And we're also going to be setting the rec.token equal to the token up above, this token. Okay. And then we do need to call next, because without next, it would just be in an infinite loop in here. It wouldn't know what to do next. So that's why we call next, so that way it could go through here now. Now that we have that, I think there's 2 spaces, yeah. Down here, we're going to just get rid of all of this right here. And since we're doing everything in here, we're going to return the user, return in the request object right here. We're going to just do res.send. We're going to res.send the rec.user that we got from up above. All right. Semicolon. Control save that. All right. Now that we have our middleware, we're going to actually store it in another directory in a file. So inside of server, we're going to create another directory, a new folder called Authenticate. Like that. And we're going to make a folder called, a file I mean, called authenticate.js. Authenticate.js. All right, and here, I'm gonna grab this right here, paste that. And since we are using the user model, we do need to put that in here. I'm just literally going to copy it from up here. Here it is right here. We're importing that sucker right in here. And now we have to export this. So models.export. It's going to equal an object, and in that object, I'm just going to put authenticate. Ooh, paste it. Okay, right there, paste. Control save that. Now, in server.js, we do need to call it because we're using it here. I'm going to get rid of this. Down, up in here, below users. Well, I'm going to just tack it up Well, yeah, right here. So we're gonna create a new variable. And I just realized that authenticate, making this directory authenticate, named authenticate, is pretty bad. We're actually just rename it. I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna rename it to middleware, because that's where we're gonna be storing all of our middlewares. And in middleware we have authenticate.js, which is good. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Right here, we're gonna get authenticate. We're gonna get that from our folder. It's gonna equal require. And we're gonna get it from the folder middleware / authenticate.js, but you don't have to do the JS because it already knows it. Just like that. Okay, okay. And we're using it right here, which is great. Okay, so save that. Let's see if it works. Restarting it. Oh, something went wrong. Like I said. Well, we tried to do it without errors. Now we have an error. Cannot find module authenticate. Well, did I spell it right? Let me see. Okay, this is spelled right. So I'm just copy this and I'm gonna just rename this because I think that's spelled right. A-U-T-H, yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure. Look, guys, don't judge. I'm horrible at spelling, and I guess I am, yeah. All right, so we got that. So let's start it up again. Hopefully no errors. We got another error. Models.users. And where is this coming from? Let me see something. Oh, that's why. Okay. Let's go back into authenticate. Models is module.exports. Exports. Control save that. Sorry guys. Last error. Oh, not the last error. I tried. Okay, I know what the problem is. Right here, we're trying to get the users model, and we're saying that it's inside the current directory, which is not. It's actually outside the current directory. So we're gonna do tack on. It's gonna be current directory, get outside of the current directory, go inside models, and go inside user. Just like that. Simple, simple. Yep, there it is. It was a simple solution. Now, we're gonna retry it again. Actually, we're gonna get a new user. So I'm gonna create a new one. It doesn't really matter. You could use the same one. YML. I think, yeah, that is an actual mail, but okay. I get a, do I get something? Yeah. Okay, I do get my body back. I'm gonna grab this right here, grab my token, copy that, go to my new user. In here, I'm gonna paste that in right here. Paste it. All right. And we should get something else right here, send it. And we do get our user back still. So much for making a video that's, you know, not error, but oh well, so life of a developer. All right, cool. Now that we created this, get it out of that, we're gonna actually talk about hashing our passwords now. So yeah, in here actually is going to be in our users JS right here. All right, so we're gonna actually write a middleware to store our hashes. All right, and our middleware is not an express middleware, it's actually a mongoose middleware, meaning that we're gonna run it before something happens. We're gonna explore middlewares, mongoose middlewares at least. Let's look that up right now. Mongoose middleware. It's the first one right here. And every middleware, at least mongoose middleware, takes in an event. What event do you want happen before? It's kind of hard for me to explain it, but I'm gonna show you. So these are the events I'm talking to you about: the validate event, save event, remove event, init event, right? And down here, the pre. This is gonna the pre. We're gonna attach schema. Just imagine this example for right now. Just imagine this schema is user schema, right? We're gonna attach .pre, which is gonna happen before this the save event. This function is gonna happen before the save event. Okay, this is how hard. It's not really hard to explain when you see it, but now that you see it, I'm pretty sure you do understand. So we're gonna be doing this kind of stuff inside of our own thing, because we want to hash it before we save the password into our schema or user schema, right? We want to save it, hash it before we save it. So that's why we're using a middleware on our schema or on our model. So down below, after this one, yes, this one right here, we're going to actually do our middleware right here. So we're going to be targeting our user schema once again, and we're going to attach an event before. So we're going to use the save operation. Okay, we're going to attach an event before the save operation, and it's going to take in a function as our second argument. And all we have to do in here is call next, because we want to, once it happens, once we do this, we want to call next, so that way it could actually go and save our, our schema, our user. You'll see in a bit. It's the same thing as the middleware and Express. Same exact concept right here. All right, in here, obviously we use this function because we're gonna bind this keyword, this keyword. So var user equals this. Now, before we continue, we are going to install a third-party module, and it's called bcrypt. Okay, so npm I bcrypt JS -- save, just like that. And we're going to actually take a look at its module right here. So npm bcrypt JS should be the first one, this one right here, and here it is. So I mean, it's just an algorithm that we're going to be using, and it's going to just hash out our password. And here's a simple way to do it. So it's going to generate a salt, because we need to salt our hashes. Remember, salting means we're going to add a random or some number of digits after the hash. So there's going to be, the hash is a set of characters, random characters, and then after that we're going to actually add on more random characters with this salt that we just added. So that way it's going to be even more harder for them to actually hack it. So, and then this first parameter is the number of rounds. The bigger the rounds, the longer the algorithm is going to take to actually complete itself. And we want it to be 10 right now, because we don't want it to take too long. But I know people that use 100, 120, 150 rounds. The reason they do that is because when someone tries to brute force, it's going to take them forever to get the password back. That's why they actually do it 120. But it's not a good idea to do it for APIs. So we're going to leave it at 10 for now. And it's going to take in the function, the error, and the salt. Remember, we're generating a salt right now, which is the extra digits it's going to add to the end of the hash. Now we're going to do a bcrypt.hash, which the first argument is the password we want to hash. And the second argument is the salt that it generated from here, from the gen salt right here, the salt. And the third is going to be the function where it grabs an error or it actually throws out the hash. So let's take this into play. We do need to call it. So over here, const bcrypt equals require bcrypt JS, and I'm supposed to call bcrypt JS right here. Remember, I'm just doing their standards. Or actually, it is bcrypt. Oh wow, look at that. All right, I'm gonna actually take this code right here and copy this. I mean, I already know what it's doing, and you should know what it's doing as well before you copy it. So in here, right here. But before we use it, we do need to check for something first of all. Okay, now remember, this middleware is gonna happen before we save anything. Okay, just imagine people are trying to actually they put in their password and then an email to sign up. Password and email, right? That's already a given. But later on down the road, what if they want to update their email, right? Well, that's going to happen in here. Remember, we're saving it, they're updating it, so they're going to be saving it, and it's going to come in here and actually update the email, but in a hashed way. And we don't want that. We only want to hash our passwords. That is it. Once they update their email, we don't really care for that. They can update it however they want. We don't want to hash that. So we're actually going to be checking if it's the password property that they're modifying. Okay. So in here, it's if user dot is modified. Now this is a built-in method that Mongo gives us that checks if it's going, if whatever's in here, which is password, if the password is actually modified. And this password, we get it from the user. Obviously, when it's a brand new user, it's obviously going to be modified because it starts from null and it actually grabs something. That's why it's modified. But later down the road, it's not going to be modified every time a user, when the user saves an email or changes its email, it's going to look for the password. It's not going to be modified because we're not changing the password. We're changing the email. So it's going to just skip through all this and it's going to call next. But if they do decide to update their password, it's going to call this right here because password is being modified. So if user is modifying password, we're going to run something else. We're going to do next. We're going to just call next so that way it just go on to the next thing. But in here, this is where we're actually going to bcrypt generate a salt and hash the salt. Okay, I mean hash our password with the salt. So remember 10, we don't want to take it too long, and then function error salt, and then bcrypt hash. The first parameter is our argument is the password we want to hash. So that's going to come from user.password. And then the salt that this generated, and then right here function error hash. And this is where we're going to store it right here. So we're actually going to set user.password to equal the hash that we just got from our module right here. And then we're going to call next in here so that way we can start saving it. Okay. So let me try to explain what's happening right now. I saved it, but let me try to explain what's happening. So back in our server.js, right here, when we save a user, right, it's going to right here when we save a user.save, it doesn't run this right now. It actually goes in here and then says, okay, you want to save it. Okay, I do have a function before saving it. Let me run this first, where it's going to save it. And then when we get our hash, it's going to save it. And then we come back and says, okay, then, and then it returns the user with the email and the password hashed already. And it's going to generate a token. And then from there on out, you already know the rest. But that's how the workflow goes like this. And we're going to actually test it out right now. Control save it. Let's npm or start our server. No errors. Yes, sir. All right. I'm actually going to RoboMongo and I'm actually just delete my, so that way I could just refresh. I'm going to delete this, drop it. Yes, I do want to drop it. I'm going to create a new user right here. And as you can see right now, my password is ABC1234 exclamation mark. Send it off. Boom. My body. I do get my ID and my email back. Let's check in here if our password was saved. Because remember, we do not get our password here. I mean, for security purposes. Right here, we did have a collection users. Yes, sir. And our password, look at our password. Looks beautiful. Hashed. And that is what we wanted. So guys, that is it for this video. We have hashed our password and we actually created a way to authenticate a user when they send in a token. Okay. Next, we're going to be seeding our database with users so that way we could test it more. We're going to be testing the post route, the one we just created, this users right here. We're going to be testing this route even more, and we're going to be seeding our test database with more users in the next video that comes up. And we're probably going to make a user login route as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Like or dislike this video, and please leave a comment down below on what you thought of the video. And if you have any problems, more than happy to help you out. And see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.